What's going on, people? Welcome to Hustlers Kung Fu Live. Tonight, we're going to talk about $10,000 in free money for business owners. And I have a list here. I got a list of things I'm about to get into. You guys who were talking about the child support, y'all had a good feeling because y'all ain't getting no money if you owe or if you're behind on child support. We're going to talk about hidden entitlements for real estate in the stimulus bill. The market is down again. The weed man is MIA. $5 to $6 million jobs disappeared this month. The divorce rate is going to explode, and this downturn is going to mess up fire. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Give me a second to go ahead and grab this URL. Today was very interesting because one of the things that I did some more YouTube testing, and it went all right, So I'm going to see what happens with this live stream, because the thing is, you've got to get your own information before you can actually get into some stuff, You got to get your own information. You got to know what's going on, and you got to experiment. So with that, all right, move out the way. Disappear. Okay. All right. This live stream was brought to you by Hustlers Kung Fu LifeSkills.com, where you can go ahead and start getting on some educational courses to prepare you for the other side of this downturn. We've got all types of courses. We got everything from the critical mindset to the Never Be Broke action pack to how to manage your money and a whole lot more. Just go to hustlerskungfu.lifeskills.com. Link should be below, and a quick Google search will bring you up on the course. So let's kind of get into the first part of this that y'all want to know about. All right. Go to Meet Kevin's channel because he did a whole video about this whole $10,000 up to $10 million for small businesses. Essentially, you have to go to the Small Business Administration, file for a loan, and whether you get the loan or not, you still get the $10,000 based on if you qualify. And it seems that the qualifications are pretty loose. So there's $10,000 to $1 million. Now, the thing is, there's only a limited amount of money. So you're going to have to get in line quick because Trump just signed the stimulus bill today, and, it's Friday. So I have a feeling people will be hitting up their banks this weekend and Monday and Tuesday, because that money probably will not last that long, because there's going to be so many folks who are going to be standing in line for this money. But essentially, this is something that you don't have to pay back. I want you to understand that. You don't have to pay it back. You can go ahead and you can get you some stimulus money. Like, I'm not going to apply for it because I don't really need it. I mean, fortunately for me that I prepared for this a long, long time ago. But if you are a small business owner, go to Meet Kevin, and he does a whole breakdown, and he's got links to the Small Business Administration, how to get there. And also know that you're just taking money from your grandchildren. That's where this is coming from. This is not just free money. It's free money for you right now. And it also illustrates just how bad things are for them to do this, because I didn't really think that they were going to do anything for small business. And essentially, if you have a small business and you've 1099 someone, you're self-employed, you have an LLC, it doesn't seem that the guidelines are really strict, but you can get this money if you act quick because there's only a limited amount of money. And I guarantee you, corporations, well, the corporations got their own stimulus package, but everybody and their mama is going to be hitting these websites to get that money because $10,000, that's a good chunk of money. I mean, essentially, because I honestly, I thought about going for it, but I'm just like, nah, let someone else get that money because, you good. And part of it is to show you just how bad this thing is that they put that in there. And there's some other stuff that they put in there. I mean, it is very interesting how this thing has gone down. Brian Boone, I don't really know once you go to the Small Business Association because they can be a pain in the butt to deal with. Patrick, Glenn, how old were you when you found your financial breakthrough? I was 33, I think, 33 or 34. What's up, people? Cache money? I don't think so. So I don't have any children, so I don't have any grandchildren. All right, all right, all right. But essentially, it doesn't seem that the guidelines to get this money are really that deep or that tough. And one of the things that's very interesting about this is they actually put this money into the stimulus bill. They put a lot of other stuff in the stimulus bill. So once again, I mean, if you're in a position, you have an LLC, you have a small business, take advantage. Go ahead and get that money because I don't feel that this pool of money, because it's a limited pool of money, I don't think it's going to last that long because I think everybody and their mama and daddy are going to be on this hard. Yeah, I'm not going to take it because I really don't need it. And I think my business qualifies. But then again, because like when I was running the consulting firm, it would have easily qualified. But because I haven't really 1099'd anyone, and I don't know the other qualifications, but go check out Meet Kevin's video. Marcus, thanks for the $5 super chat. Maurice Anderson, they do a hard pull on your credit. They will check your credit. And Kevin had an idea that the reason they were checking your credit was to keep you from applying multiple times because, you only have one social security number. But yeah, they're going to check your credit. I mean, if you've ever dealt with the Small Business Administration, those loans are a big pain in the butt. They want collateral. They want to know what your dog's name is. I mean, I've had one, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. And I gave those folks their money back, and I got rid of them, and I've never made another business loan again. Barfield, yeah, I called. I mean, the economic forecast indicators said we were heading toward a recession. Charlatan, I don't know. You're going to have to go ahead and apply to the Small Business Administration, which means you're going to probably have to have an active concern, not a hobby. But once again, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be very interesting because a lot of people are going to be going for this free money. A lot of people. And let's see. Love and understanding. There's money in all levels of government as well as city, county, state, not just federal. Well, you got to go through for the federal money, which is, it's in the bill, and Trump signed the bill today. So you can start applying for that like today if your bank was open. So you got to go to the bank. LJ, that's the next part of the session because the guys who owe child support, it's like they knew. They knew. It's like they knew what was coming. They knew what was coming. All right, so for all you guys who owe back child support, you're not getting a stimulus check. I mean, it is. If you owe past due child support, your stimulus check might not be coming or be significantly lower, according to one U.S. senator. If you owe back taxes of other debt to the government, that's not a problem. Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican Iowa, the chairman of the Finance Committee and key author of the stimulus bill, said the legislation turns off nearly all administrative offsets that ordinarily may reduce tax refunds for individuals who have past tax debts or who are behind on other payments to the federal and state governments, including student loan payments, Grassley wrote. So essentially, if you owe back child support, you are not getting a check. And I know because I had a lot of people doing previous streams was asking me, it's like, hey, if I owe back child support, am I going to get a check? Am I going to get a check? And it looks like you are not going to get a check or it's going to be greatly reduced. And on that note, I have a course. It's the child support course. It's at Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. And also I have some information. I was talking about that because if you recently just lost your job, you need to put in for a modification ASAP. I don't know how the courts are working, but you got to go ahead, file for a modification, get her served, get her in the court, because here's the thing that's going to happen with child support. As the fact that you're not getting any of this stimulus money or it's going to be greatly reduced, this is something you got to deal with. And this is something that I tell all of my guys, you got to deal with this. You cannot run from it. You cannot hide from it. And, over on Disruptive Mail channel, I've talked about it a little bit. And this is why in my situation, I went to court and I fought that junk and got it dismissed because this stuff hunts you in every corner of your life. I mean, it's like Darth Vader and the Death Star. I mean, once you get a little bit behind, it could be impossible to catch up. And this is why with Disruptive Mail, I tell all my dudes, get your economics in order. If you're on child support, your goal should be to make 3 to 5 times what your child support is, if it's, that significant, on your side gig. So, it just doesn't become this overwhelming burden that has become for a lot of people. But yeah, if you got back child support, you get the big yank on this stimulus package. It is kind of crazy how that's going down. I'm not going to do the SBA loan. Key, I know. Kimmy, once again, I'm not all on this DBA stuff. You got to have a real business. And once again, just check it out. Go to the website. Email. Damn. If you don't pay taxes, you don't get it. Pretty much. Perception Media, Baby Mamas of America, put the word out. Short change, that could be, there will be some people who will do that. Jake Henderson, once again, for all of those who are really curious, because meet Kevin, the Grant Cardone fanboy who hates Grant Cardone. He did a whole video on it, and he got all the stuff that marked up and everything. Go to his video after the stream and check it out, because he dropped it today. Ben Theodo, beat my case with Uncle G's child support course. Thank God, man. Because the child support court is the truth. And a lot of fellas, because, let's have this conversation. Like with my situation, we had an agreement which she violated because she thought she could get away with it. and I held her accountable, and I went to court and I fought my case, and I had her crap dismissed. Gentlemen, when you're dealing with this stuff, you got to fight it because it can hunt you for life. Glad to hear that, Ben Theodore. Deadbeat super affiliate. How the heck are you doing? Actually, I got a lot of content, Dan. I got I got 2,500 videos, and as you know, YouTube is not pushing videos of older channels. And I could shoot you an email and tell you why. But once again, I'm just Fridays. I'm just testing. I'm just doing a lot of testing on Fridays. Maurice Anderson, most DBAs are looked upon as fraud. Like once again, I don't know about the whole DBA thing because to me, it is so easy to file an LLC, create your holding company, then create your LLCs, and I'm like because you still have to file a DBA with the state, and you still got to pay some money. So why not just do a formal LLC? I just don't get it. I don't get it. So you got a lot of people out there who are not really doing the right thing. Now, let's get into some juicy stuff. Now, once again, there's some language in here where essentially real estate is going to be impacted because they put a provision in there where people cannot pay their mortgage for up to a year. And it's just crazy. But they also put some other bennies in there for real estate investors because essentially there is, hold on, let me go to my Facebook. All right, so I've been very busy today. Very, very, very busy. Oh, Savage Finance is only 5 weeks old and it's almost monetized. That's the quickest I've ever done that. The 2 million trillion stimulus will slam the mortgage industry. Like I said, this is going to impact real estate, but there's some other juicy stuff in there. All right, there it is. Real estate investors will get 170 billion windfall from bailout package. Tucked inside federal government's massive economic real estate rescue package, it's 170 billion windfall for real estate investors, and I think that's 170 billion dollars for small businesses. Washington's two trillion bill is a provision that allows investors to write down the depreciation of properties beyond the previous limit of 500,000 a year. According to a draft and congressional analysis, it's the second largest tax giveaway in the multi-trillion-dollar proposal. It's a pretty big deal. Per the terms of presidential's 2017 tax cuts, investors could use depreciation to shield the first 5,000 of a married couple's capital gains from investments each year. The current rescue package lifts that restrictions for 3 years, according to the Times. Senate Republicans assert the language is at page 203 of the 880-page bill. The House of Representatives is expected to pass the bill Friday. So real estate is going to take it on the chin, but if you are properly positioned, this is because see, the depreciation is for 3 years. This ain't going to last 3 years. We can hope, but once again, because the way I see it, the way that it's going to come down is, let me go ahead and give you the layers of the tsunami. Chris Monroe, no. You only can file for one company. Pookie them about to claim they got a business. Trading merchant, I don't think so. Chris Monroe, because real estate's about to get hit. Your business had to be before February 2020. California folks not listening to the government. Bars, gun shops, strip clubs still open. Well, Jonathan, because a lot of people don't really care about that. But let me go ahead and give you what I think is going to happen to real estate. First of all, the first wave, because this is going to happen next month. We're going to have probably 10 million people who are going to be unemployed by the end of next month, if not more. And they're going to start running in about, this is the second week for most of the country. The third, the fourth. See, next month is when you're going to start to see the fallout. Next month is when people are going to have money to pay their bills because the Cheesecake Factory cannot pay its rent on 300 locations because this has only been going on for a few weeks, but that's how much it's hurt their revenue. So first, that's going to be the first wave. And then you're going to have all these property owners who are not going to be able to pay their rent. And this is going to impact the landlords. And once again, we're going to see the leverage. Because remember when I was talking about real estate and everybody kept telling me, instead of buying one property with 200 grand, take $20,000 and get mortgages. I am so glad that I listened to my hustling godfather's spotty sense on that. Because the people who are really leveraged, and this is what's leveraged. The people who have like 100, 200 bucks a month cash flow, they're about to be hurting. If they have a renter in their house and they don't have to pay their mortgage, but not because they're going to get behind. Because at some point, I don't know what they're going to do for these people who are going to get 6, 7, 8 months behind on their mortgages. They may have to redo their mortgages and put those payments at the end. That's the easiest way to do it because the average person is just not going to be able to come up with that kind of bread. It's just not going to happen. So with what's going on, that's going to be the first wave because once all these people who are not working cannot pay their rent, then the second wave is going to hit all these real estate folks who've done all of this creative financing, who don't have a rock solid plan, who have no cash reserves. They're going to be wiped out. All these folks who went out and bought these Airbnb properties. A lot of those properties are going to be up for sale in about 2 or 3 months. And through the rest of the year, you're going to see a whole bunch of properties flood the market. But since so many people are unemployed, they're not going to be able to qualify for a mortgage. So this is going to bring real estate is going to bring the prices down. I don't think we're going to see the crash that we saw in 2008, but it's going to bring real estate prices down, and the market's going to be flooded with real estate, both commercial and residential. Especially some of these commercial guys who've got into the creative financing, who did not put together a robust business plan. Orange, blue, I think hyperinflation is a little bit off. Chris Monroe, they playing in underground parties. Short change, that's funny. Grant Barnes, from a business standpoint, do you think that Trump should follow Bill Gates' advice and order a U.S. shutdown for 6 to 10 weeks? He ain't gonna do it. Dude's trying to open up the country. Like, it's a really hard question because with the coronavirus, people will die. But this is destroying the economy because we're in a recession. All of the financial YouTubers are now like, all right, right. They got to face the music because they've been dancing around it like we might have a recession. You cannot have 3.8 million people lose their job in 1 month and all these companies shut down and all of this economic output just stops and not have a recession. I'm like, they were just like dancing around it, like, yeah, they was just like, we're gonna bounce back, we're gonna bounce back. No, we're having a recession, and more than likely a depression, because either way, because this is what I think, because Trump can order a national open up the country, but the governors have the final say, and there would be like the bonehead governor in Texas, he would go with Trump's order, but there would be like Cuomo. He's kind of softening. He may go with Trump's order, but there's other governors that would keep their states closed. So we will still have an economic slowdown, and we will still have, and also New York hospitals are already starting to be overwhelmed. And in New Orleans, which is an epic center in the South, because they had Mardi Gras, their hospitals are starting to be overwhelmed. And we have not even peaked. We're still going up. Just a week ago, there was like, 5,000 cases in the United States. And now, how many do we have? Damn. United States, we have 102,000 cases and 1,600 deaths. It's been here 2 weeks. That's massively fast. So literally, if we got up to 1 million infected people, we're going to have tens of thousands of folks who are going to die. That's where we are right now, and it's still going up. So, I mean, that is crazy quick. That is crazy quick. So, I don't know about opening up the economy, but I don't know about keeping it closed either. Chris Monroe, my newest. Yeah, they going to be good this month. But next month and the month after, that's when it's going to get sticky. Sole propriety, if you're a real business, could be, Jonathan. Robert Bonner, just wait a few weeks. The price of the house that you want is going to go down. And as long as you have your job and can still qualify for a mortgage, you should be good to go. Oh, commercial real estate is very risky unless it's commercial real estate like apartments, but like warehouses and office buildings, like the properties, the 300 locations that Cheesecake Factory has. They can't pay rent on any of those 300 locations. That's 300 landlords that ain't getting paid rent. That's huge. And who knows how many, because, Cheesecake Factory is usually an anchor point of a mall. And who else in the mall's not paying rent? It's going to be rough. Jonathan, previous record was 692. What you for me unemployment? I don't see Easter's opening. I think Trump's had 4 bankruptcies. Median checking account balance in the U.S. is 3,400. I don't believe it's that high. I don't believe that. Well, China lies, and Russia was lying. Be great. Once again, go to the Small Business Administration and fill out the paperwork. They're going to check your credit score, let you know you're going to get a hard pull. Oh, Alabama just shut down? Wow. That's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. All right, so this is something I wanted to address. You know how everyone was talking about the fire movement, and the fire movement was predicated on investing in the stock market? I think you're going to see a lot less fire. The stock market's downturn could mean a painful unwinding of the fire movement. This was written last year. The fire movement, financial independence, retire early, is so mid 2018. Fueled by a millennial yearning for independence and relentless bull markets, adherence to the fire approach have been taking the players to work hard, cut costs to the bone, pile up savings, all in hopes of getting out of the rat race with enough time and money to enjoy the spoils of freedom. One big problem: returns on investments aren't looking so hot these days. This was written last January. Like Mike Tyson famously said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Well, fire fans have certainly been punched in the mouth with the stock market off 3.3%. And that was last year. That was nothing compared to what's going on right now. Because I guarantee you, you're going to see a whole different talk. Because there was one couple, Our Rich Journey, and they're part of the fire movement, and they've got a contingency plan because if their stocks crash enough, they're going to have to start living on their cash. But the fire movement is going to take a hit because it was all predicated on the stock market. And let's just talk about that, because everyone wants to be in the stock market. Everyone wants to go ahead and make some easy money and do nothing. Once again, the reality is you need to start a business. You need to start a business. I know, Tracy, those numbers are crazy. Jonathan, they don't count asymptomatic or low symptom people. I think they do. I believe they count them in the number of cases, because if you get tested, you get counted. Ben the bartender, you could be right. Jonathan, apartments risky too, since places are putting them on moratorium on rents. This is what I think. The people who have the money, who are still working, they're going to pay their rent. But there will be a certain segment of the population that's going to be like, wait a minute, I'll pay my rent, they can't kick me out. I don't pay my utilities, they can't kick me out. What? Oh, party over here, party over there. They're going to be clowning. These idiots out here having Corona parties. What? Chris Monroe. Once again, that's just that's too high. I agree 100%, charlatan. South Florida, they don't care in Florida. They've been out partying. No, malls were already in trouble before the corona came. Malls were seriously in trouble. Man, they're gonna be clowning. I mean, good lord, because some people already. All right, I know. I was talking to a friend, and she has a friend who is a nurse, but the nurse is tired of working, and she gonna go to the doctor and get her doctor to write her a note so she can get this extended unemployment benefits. People gonna take the path of least resistance. I'm telling you, there are gonna be people who are gonna take advantage of this. Yo, you know what? This actually happened in my area. There was someone that was who was working at a drugstore and they was sick and they were all loaning on next door. They were like, I talked to the manager. You can't be sick and be out in these times. JB Well, Amazon's buying malls to convert to distribution centers. Thanks for the $10 super chat. Yeah, but Amazon can't buy all these malls. A lot of these malls are going to be empty and vacant. Because when you count malls and and strip shopping centers, a lot of that real estate is about to be empty. So we're going to see a lot of craziness that's going to happen in the coming days. Because, like I said, real estate is going to take a hit. If you're in the market for a house, I would, well, first of all, you need to make sure your job is secure before you go getting the mortgage. You need to make sure your job is secure. You got your emergency savings account. There's a video that's going to drop on Savage Finance Sunday that's going to be talking about this. Because once again, one of the things that you guys have got to understand is you need to make sure that you are good to go and that your money is stable before you do something like a mortgage. There is talk about forgiving student loans, federal student loans up to $10,000. So they're going to try to do that. What's up, Wayman? Oh, they're going to get what they're going to get cheap, but they Amazon distribution centers cannot fill up all these malls that are going to close. Malls are only going to exist in wealthy neighborhoods, or they're going to be like these outlet malls, these destination outlet malls. That's what people are going to be going to. All right. Okay. This is cataclysmic. The coronavirus could obliterate 5 million to 6 million jobs in March alone. Layoffs are spiraling. The job cuts from American business and industries like airlines, cruise lines could add 5 to 6 million people to the unemployment line in March, according to an estimate provided by Moody's Analytics for Fortune. This will be greater than any single month for job loss in American history. It blows away more than the 800,000 jobs lost in March of 2009, the largest month for job losses during 2007 to 2009 Great Recession. This comes as a growing number of states have ordered non-essential businesses to shut their doors in an attempt to slow the spread of the coronavirus. Now, this is why I'm talking about the stock market is going to crash again. These companies are closed. You know, a lot of companies are closed and not making money. They shut their doors. Everyone's not like Apple. Let me go ahead and show y'all. Apple now has 207 billion in cash on hand. Apple gonna be good. Apple is probably gonna make some acquisitions during this downturn because they are seriously cash heavy and they have profitable products. Now, Apple's going to be, you know, if you're going to buy some stock, buy some Apple stock because they're not going out of business no time soon. Coronavirus, recession, depression, Apple's good to go because they have a $207 billion war chest. This is money that can keep the company going for many, many years without making a profit. And Apple's still going to make money and still going to make profit and still release iPhones. But going back to these unemployment numbers, this is devastating. And depending on, this is why Trump is trying. When is Easter? All right. So even if Trump opens up the country by Easter, right? That's still 2 weeks into April. And the layoffs and the furloughs will continue. And I think they're going to accelerate because there's some companies that are paying their people right now, like Patagonia. Patagonia is going to pay its employees during this downtime, during this down, even though they're not working. As CV-19 crashes the economy, workers and business owners wonder if anything can save them from financial ruin. Sonia Balusta was living paycheck to paycheck in one of the most expensive regions of the country when the virus hits and her finances went bad to disastrous. Her employer, the Palace Hotel in San Francisco, a four-star luxury property owned by Marriott, told her the business had slowed and didn't need her anymore. Just when her husband had lost his job in the hotel cafeteria, cut from 5 to 2 days a week. I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent, said Bastusta. I mean, this is what's going on. And once these economic realities start to grip America, it's going to be on and popping. This is when you're going to see, because right now, people are just bored. People are like, they're trying to do their thing. They're trying to deal with being cooped up. Telework is big time going up. Secure the way these companies have been locked out in the 3 weeks, we're going to see businesses practice change to more liquid than credit. Absolutely. And this is something that I've been preaching for the longest. Tracy, Apple's not playing. Apple's going to be making acquisitions of these companies because they're going to be dirt cheap. Buffett's sitting on a bunch of cash because he's been waiting for this. Chris Monroe, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen because what I predict is going to happen is the infection rates are going to spike, and we're going to have another place. We got to have New York, we have Washington State, we have New Orleans. Now South Florida's a hot spot. We're going to see these massive places in become infected, and then what's going to happen? And like I am so glad I don't work in the hospital. One of my little f buddies is a nurse. And I have not seen her since this started because she's been talking to me, telling me because they're starting to get a lot of corona patients. And I'm like, and she's like, you don't miss me? I was like, yeah, I'm just busy. I'm busy. I don't want her in my house. I know that sounds really messed up, but she is going to work. And I know from working in the hospital that healthcare workers have high infection rates. You know, she says she good, but I'm like, I don't want the corona up in my house, man. She has not been over here since this. You know, I'm just, you know, it's weird because I was watching this skit where this dude and they all had protective clothing on, gloves and stuff, and this dude sneezed and he's like, "Get out!" It is crazy. Oh man, I would hate to be in the Navy right now on an aircraft carrier, because essentially this is going to literally go through the fleet. Tim A, you a hustler. You a hustler. This is time to be making money. Glendon, the way people are hurting now, I feel it's now how I felt in 2013. I couldn't afford a $3 pastry. Through many things are much better now. I never forget those tough days. They can, yeah, we're going to see many people go through a level of practicality and austerity that they've never experienced. And it's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy what's going to happen. Uh, Webcams, laptops, this is stuff that, because people are working from home. They got to have this stuff. Aaron, that part of the business world is going to stay that way. 500 plus dead here in New York. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here in Georgia. In my neighborhood, you wouldn't really know anything's going on. People out running and jogging and walking the dog. Uh, you have no thing. Oh yeah. Well, they've been worried about it hitting Africa and South America, but it seems to be stalling out in warmer temperatures. So when it warms up, that should dampen the infection rate. I mean, no way she can't come over here. Pretty much perceptions media. Charlatan is going up. Dark side, I've been working from home using telehealth instead of going to the hospital. My wife too. So y'all are not allied health, like the respiratory therapists, the nurses, the doctors, they're exposed to this stuff daily. Paul Brown, I live in Northwest Florida and just rode through the neighborhood and everyone's hanging out there in bunches. Of course, Paul. Secure the bag. Hey, I knew it was coming. King Nick. Yep, a lot of poor people are going to. Jesse, we're never going back to normal after this. Dark side, I'm a physician, but I only do outpatient. Well, it's interesting because there was this grocery store in Texas. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Inside the story of how HEB planned for the pandemic. They started planning for this. This is a grocery store in Texas that started planning for this in January, which makes me wonder, why didn't the Trump administration start planning for this in January? Because at this moment, we have the highest number of affected people in the world, and it's only been here a few weeks. We were unprepared for this. And many people going, raw, yeah, Trump, yeah, Trump, yeah, Trump. No, this is not leadership. This inside the story of how the HEB planned for the pandemic, that's leadership. That was leadership. They got on it, they started planning for it, and they were ready. We as a country were not ready for this. And it has caused a lot of problems and will continue to cause a lot of problems. We weren't ready. And we have the highest infection rate. And before it's all said and done, we're probably going to have the highest death rate because, and this is where it's going to hit hard. Most of, 20% of white America is over 62. And it's just going to raise that population base. That is a very vulnerable population. And that is also the most hard-headed and Trump-loving part of the country. So a lot of these people they're going to die. Just put it bluntly, they're going to die. It's just what's going to happen. Aaron, a lot of big businesses are going to get this money, man. Mr. Deary, I disagree. Socially, we're going to go back to business as usual. Right. Once this thing really hits, because see, right now, people are uncomfortable. Once people start feeling real economic pain, like this girl, she posted this video on YouTube talking about she got laid off and the girl's about to cry. We're going to see many of those because whether Trump opens up the country or doesn't, either way you go, there's going to be economic damage and death. And this is, look at your great grandmother and your grandfather who lived through the Great Depression. They were a different kind of people because of that experience. And this experience is going to change America forever. You know, there's a group of people out there who are reckless and carefree and they're still partying and still getting together. When they start getting sick and dying, that will wake them up because there's a term we have in Alabama called people don't believe fat meat is greasy until the juice is dripping off their fingers. Some people are going to have to feel it in the harshest terms possible for them to get it. This is going to change. This is a global reset. This was the moving a lot of companies out of China. A lot of this oil war between Russia and Saudi Arabia. This is a global reset, and the dollar is like super strong right now. But with the global reset, we're going to shuffle things around the globe. Things are going to change, and going back to quote normal, I don't really know what normal would be after this because I know many people are hopeful that this thing's going to disappear. We're going to bounce back. The stock market's going to bounce back. We're just going to be a little hiccup. The stock market's going to keep crashing. Once the real economic figures get to the stock market, they're going to crash. Pretty much. I mean, the recession was coming. Over the past month, I watched my retirement take a big hit. A lot of people did. Aaron, they're trying to starve off panic. Well, Mr. Big, that's what's going to happen. I know, Charlotte, and that was crazy. There was some people talking about that. Pretty much, JB. Well, pretty much. Oh, this is something else that's going to be coming to America too. What happened in China is going to happen here. The virus may be driving up divorce rates in a Chinese city, officials say, as China works to contain with emergency quarantines. One city is reporting a record number of divorce requests. Officials say it's likely due to couples who've been kept in close quarters for long periods of time without access to the outside world. However, this is coming to America. Let me go ahead and break it down for you. Right now, you got a lot of people who are together because they don't have to spend a lot of time around each other. You know, you have a guy, he's got his hobby, he's got his boys, he's got his cars, girls, she goes with her girlfriends and stuff. And they only spend like, 4 to 6 hours a day together. Now they've been forced to spend all day with each other. And the cracks and the problems in their relationships are going to come to a surface. And the number of mothers who are complaining about their children is epic. I mean, I've seen so many things on Facebook that's like, Trump, you need to open up the economy. You need to put some money here. You need to get these kids out of here. A lot of parents today are not used to dealing with their kids. Like when I was a kid, parents were used to dealing with kids, looking after kids, having the kids in the house, being around kids. It was a whole different era. These parents today, they're not used to having their kids around all the time. And this is going to cause a big issue. And it also may bring some families closer together, but you can see the divorce rate is going to jump when this is over. Because there are people in relationships that are like, I don't know about this. I'm tired of looking at her. I don't like the way that he eats. He getting on my nerves. He sleep weird. I mean, people are going to break up. There's going to be all types of stuff that's going to go down. The divorce rate in America is going to spike. You heard it here first. It's going to jump. It is going to jump, man. Mr. Big, normal is just what the world goes back on. It's easy to think people will change, but history shows that policy changes, people endure and go back to business as usual. Mr. Big, I'm going to just disagree with you because this thing is going to change how people handle money. It's going to change how people look at jobs because all of these folks who just got let go, some of these people are going to be like, wait, I don't ever want to be in that position again. I remember the last time I was laid off. And I said to myself, this ain't going to never happen to me again. I am never going to go through this again. I'm never going to be in this uncertain situation again. I am going to be ahead of the curve. And I went out, I got some new skills, I got trained up, and I became a business owner. That was the plan. I was never going to be in that position to be laid off or cast aside because this is the interesting thing about me being laid off. I was the salesman of the month when I got laid off. I did a good job, and it was a very, very important lesson for me. It wasn't about, quote, doing a good job in corporate America. It was like, how are you positioned? And since I came in through a temp agency, they got rid of me and kept the underperformers. Kept them. Never forget that lesson. So there are many people who are going to, I fully expect that my channel is going to grow. I fully expect that a lot of people are going to start listening because there are going to be many folks who like, I ain't going through this again. No more. This ain't happening to me no more. Mr. Big, think about it. Who really talks about 9/11 anymore? Bunch of people. They bring it up all the time. And 9/11 wasn't as painful as this is. 9/11, we had some planes go into it. We went to war. This is touching everybody. 9/11 didn't touch everybody. We were all scared. We didn't know what was happening. But 9/11 didn't have you in your house with your wife that you don't like anymore. 9/11 didn't have you at home working from your home in your cramped apartment. Because for me, I have a big ass house. I have plenty of room. I walk around. I don't feel cramped and contained. I would hate to be living in a small 2-bedroom apartment with this going on. So, once again, people are going to change. They're going to change their outlooks, and many people after this are going to start businesses. I'm willing to bet on it. That's funny, Calculus Daddy. Calculus Daddy, I've been buying influencers real cheap. Oh, everything going on sale, man. Everything. Chris Monroe, you see the opportunity there. Nettie Youngblood, that was during recessions. Divorce rates usually going to go down, but this, I mean, people going to be so fed up with each other. Anton, there will be a spike of Rona babies. You see what Bob's Wood Entertainment, what you see at work. So once again, this is going to be really altering and life changing for many people. And one of the big things that's going to happen, I see, is going to be a spike because for some people who are at home, who are getting a check, who still got money, like around here, like the grocery stores are not crowded. All of the restaurants are open for takeout. So I man, like, let me show y'all what I had for dinner. That was dinner right there. And I also had the salad. It was a nice dinner. So it's pretty much, for me, nothing has changed because I was already working from home and I didn't go out that much to begin with. It ain't really because, I've been sitting here making content. I've been testing out theories. I've been doing videos. I've been like, well, I need this. I'm trying to figure out some stuff I'm going to get because I think that this studio is good. I got my panda head back there. I got my little sloth. I think this studio is good, and I got to do up another studio. Ben the bartender, you broke and annoying. Divorce. Keyboard diffs. What's going to happen is all of the economically fragile businesses are going to perish. They're going to go out of business. And this is going to kill a lot of small businesses who were living kind of like most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And once again, I have been preaching, live on 50% of your income, save money, save money, save money. And a lot of people are going to do that. A lot of people are going to be like Apple. They're going to be sitting on cash for the next one. People still get on planes after 9/11. Once again, 9/11 did not touch people the way that this is touching people. This is affecting everybody. 9/11 was just a ideal, a concept. This is real. You up in your house, you just lost your job. You have no money in your checking account. That's real. And this is like, once again, we're in the second, third week of this. Next month, you're going to see some crazy stuff. Next month, people going to start freaking out. Bro, it's apartment people going crazy, stuck inside one bedroom. Hey, I would hate to be in an apartment right now because once again, that's a large concentration of people. Your roomie, your next door neighbor could have the Rona, the Rona. JB, well, I'm going to clown the hell out of my ex when she divorces her current husband. The super independent woman can't handle a man around her 24/7. Woo! You might need to go over to Disruptive Mail. I got some content up there like the one I put up today. I was having fun with that one. Dr. Littlejohn, if you have your Uber and Lyft as an LLC, which is what I urge people to do, then yes, you would qualify for the $10,000. That's funny. The young, you cracking me up. In Las Vegas, they make people wait outside before they can go in the store, social distancing. Ben, that's what a lot of folks gonna do. Pretty much. Internet businesses, I'm 100% with you on that. I mean, that's what I have. I have an internet business. I mean, I see my business growing. I see my, because once again, this is like 2009 was the recession. That's when I started this business. And 3 years later, I was a millionaire. What do they say? Millionaires are made in recessions. If you have a product or service that people want and need, you can get paid because everybody ain't going to be unemployed. I mean, if we got a 25% unemployment rate, that means 75% of the people are working. That's a lot of people. D Young, Chris Monroe, my eBay sales started thinking the day after the Rona bill was signed. Calculus Daddy, thanks for the $5 super chat. I work at a library, I also run an online business. I used to get paid to work for myself at the library. Now I get paid to work from home. Feels good. Pretty much, wealthy man. Employers and employees are now thinking how they can get rid of each other before the next big situation. 100%. Man, beer pack. Go ahead, because once again, I'm going to give a little boost to this Grant Cardone hating person. He did a whole video on it. He's got a link and everything. It's his last video. Go to Meet Kevin, and he breaks it down. Emergency something something long, and this is free money. $10,000 up to $10 million. And I guarantee you, there's going to be a herd of business people running to get this free money. I am not going to be one of them because I don't need it. And I hopefully that the people who get this money need it. But I have a feeling it's going to be the most educated, the most up to date, the people with their credentials in order who are going to get this money. And a lot of people who would be eligible, but because they don't know how to apply, they're not going to get it. I think that's one of the things that's going to happen. So go to Meet Kevin to get that. Well, Ben the bartender, a lot of people on eBay just sell crap. Malik Campbell, go to Meet Kevin. Oh yeah, my grocery store. I mean, you can stroll around in it. Jay Gamble, people still got to pay their rent. Chris Monroe, everybody's going after Grant. Made me want to do a video talking about Grant Cardone will be all right to all his haters, because Grant went through a recession. Kevin, Stephen Graham, they have not gone through a recession. Grant has went through a recession. Grant has put contingency places. The recession is the reason that Grant wrote 10X. Grant gonna be okay. I mean, so many people just want Grant to fail because Grant living a big, bold, fabulous life. He's got a hot wife. He's got a jet. He got a Rolls Royce. He living his best life, and a lot of people can't stand that. Just be facts. A lot of people can't stand that. Hey, during the last recession, a lot of hustlers were buying art pieces and Rolexes. They loaded up on them. Hey, D Young, no, I'm not going to have a stimulus course. I'm going to do some more training. Mr. Big, yeah, the recession's baked in. The recession's, I don't care what they do, it's going to happen. They can't stop it because this is the last month in the first quarter. And what did we have? A reduction in output. This is the first quarter. April, we're going to have another reduction in output, which is going to be the beginning of the Q2, the second quarter. So that's the recession right there, baby. From an official, from an unofficial standpoint, we're in a depression right now. But once again, next month, and at the end of next month, we're going to have these 2 quarters of negative growth. We'll have an official recession. It's baked in. They can't stop it. Grant putting those diamonds in your face and folks don't like it. He got cash somewhere, pretty much. The movie whistle, but they hate Grant Cardone as to goes because Gary V is not flashy. You don't know where Gary V lives. You don't know what he drives. And he looks like a bum most of the time. Where Grant be like, and also Grant is richer than Gary V. Being the bartender, I have over 10,000 items for sale. No junk allowed, not to count my 20 private label products. Chris Monroe is hustling his booty off. Hustle, hustle. Secure the bag. The fact we're talking about Grant's failure means he's winning. Like I said, Grant winning. Pretty much, Camila. Pretty much, JB. Well, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to lose their jobs and they're not going to go back. And a lot of people are going to be thinking of entrepreneurship and having an online business. And one of the things you're going to see is all of these people who are leveraged to the max with this creative real estate financing, you're going to see a lot of them sink. A lot of them are going to sink. A lot of them are going to have some issues with this cycle, because once again, when I was talking about getting in real estate, everybody was like, "Well, don't pay $200,000 for one house. Put $20,000 and go out and get 5 mortgages." I've done the math. That one house, the rent on that one house is more than the rent on those 5 houses. But once again, everyone thought this thing of real estate appreciation, the stock market, they thought it was going to go on forever. I knew when I started my recession talks video last 2 years, I said, this thing is coming. It's coming. I did not know this virus thing was coming, but I knew the recession was coming because if you look at all the economic indicators, the inverted yield curve, we have not had a recession with an inverted yield curve. And the Trump people and the stimulus and the stock market, they've been trying to starve that off. But the reality is, it's a done deal. It's going to happen. Benny, a lot of people gonna need those little checks. Tim A, it depends on how much cash they have on hand. Wayman Brown, these women are going to go clinically insane from boredom and limited attention. Most of them do not have the mental wherewithal to find peace and solace. Strippers will learn how expendable they are. Man, a lot of them are already feeling it. Like there's this one chick who has a YouTube channel, Christina Vargas. She gonna be all right because she getting that YouTube money. Every time she put out a video, she gets like 1 million views. So that's like about $10,000 check per video. So she gonna be all right. But these strippers who are up in the clubs shaking their booty dust, they about to go through some hard time if they have not put some of that money up. Richard Thomas, I don't know the answer to that. I know Agent J. Poole. I mean, I'm thinking about doing it. Chris, they knew it would crash eventually. They just never thought it would happen under Trump. Let's look at Trump. Trump got the Obama economy. And none of those clowns nor Trump want to give Obama the credit he was due. And then they were talking about like how Obama handled H1N1. We had a vaccine for H1N1. We don't have a vaccine for this stuff. Totally different scenarios. Mr. Big, the last two presidents starved in office well. Trump isn't the first and he won't be the last. I guarantee it. No politician wants to be the office when the economy sinks. Historically, no president that was president when the economy sank got reelected. Never happened. And if the economy sinks the way that I think it is, Trump will not be reelected. And I know that this Trump stuff is like it defies gravity, but the reality is a lot of people who voted for Trump, his policies hurt and they turned on him. So it's going to be real interesting. Jeremiah Hampton applied about an hour and a half ago. Men of action had the best results. Like I'm telling you, you better apply quickly. Jeremiah Hamilton, talk about your experience real quick. What did you have to put down? I know they're going to do a credit check. Well, this is the largest stimulus that we've ever had. This is the largest economic bailout that we've ever had with both parties. And they actually did this really quickly. Because, normally they take months to do stuff, if ever. And they actually got together and put this bill together, pushed it through. And people, like I said, when I put those, I said the checks were coming. The checks were coming. And people were like, oh, no, they ain't signed the bill. I'm confused. Like, I knew these checks were coming because we have such an entitled population. People gonna go berserk without those checks. And then when they get those checks and the checks run out, this is why Trump's trying to open up the country again. And a lot of people well, folks die. They just die. That's where a lot of people are. When we're going to start doing TikTok toilet seat challenge. TikTok is one of the most idiotic things in the world to me, man. I don't think it happened this fast. I mean, from start to finish, this literally took, 2 weeks? This was incredibly fast for our Congress. I mean, Mr. Big, yep, our grandchildren going to be paying those bills. Thoughts on Bill Ackerman's $2.6 billion profit from a $25 million bet? Hey. Jeremiah Hampton, it was simple. Took maybe about 10 minutes. I uploaded my tax statement with the application. There you go. 10-minute application to get $10,000. Well, TikTok was created in China. So that is one of the crazy things about it. Let me get rid of that. Making sure that I covered everything in this stream that I had planned on to. All right. Here's this one. I was a I became a disciplined investor over 40 years. The virus broke me in 40 days. I survived and even prospered through 4 stock market crashes, but nothing prepared me for this. It's Thursday morning, March 19th, 4 weeks into the crash of 2020. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has opened down another 700 points, as plunging below 20,000 a day before. It's down 30% in the month, the steepest drop ever, even worse during the Great Depression. The fall has been nauseating, yet I know it's time to be buying stocks based on rules I developed over decades of investing. But in order to do that, I have to log into my brokerage account. When I do, the first number I see in the current market value of my portfolio. Isolated at a farmhouse in rural New York, surrounded by wilderness, I haven't looked in days. I don't want to look now. I decided to better check the weather forecast instead, and there's an email to catch on. An hour later, I've done nothing. I'm paralyzed. I've owned stock for nearly 40 years. I've lived through, survived through, even prospered through 4 crashes. So I should be prepared. Yet, looking back at the last few weeks, I recognize I violated my most time-tested rules. Whipsaw between optimism and despair as bad news mounted and my daily life was upended. I let emotions influence my decisions. I've been doing it again this morning. The dude been in the stock market 40 years and he ain't never seen nothing like this. There are many people who are going to change how they do stuff. Because like I said, for me, it just took being laid off after working my butt off, doing a good job for that company for me to be out. I was like, I ain't never going to do this again. JB Well, thanks for the $10 super chat. One thing to keep in mind, this hurt us, but it actually hurt our rivals, China, far worse. Everyone going to get gut punched at the same time. They just took the lasting hit. This is the global reset that I'm talking about. We're on a global reset. This is it. And for those of you who want to get the stimulus package, it's a 10-minute app. You got to upload your tax forms, and you should be good to go. You should be good to go. All right. For everyone that wants to do a YouTube channel, the second section of how to market and sell on YouTube dropped the other day. And literally, it will take you weeks to just do these 2 sections, because starting a new YouTube channel should be about strategy and planning versus just creating a Gmail account and start making YouTube videos. This course will help you have a winning YouTube channel. You can pay $2,000 to go ahead and get the whole course, or you can go on the monthly payment plan, or you can buy the How to Make Money package. All of these links are below. Because, man, I'm telling you, honestly, I think doing YouTube is one of the best things I ever did. And when I first started doing YouTube, I took all of this crap because I think I was 42 years old. And, it was like, this is for kids. Why are you doing something on YouTube? And everyone thought it was a joke and ha ha ha. And now, 10 years later, it's like it's still going. And YouTube's projected to grow for another 10 years. So if you want to do a YouTube channel and you want to do it right, and you want to make sure your channel is set up correctly, take this course, because I will help you get to the proper levels with YouTube. Because one of the things I'm going to do, you guys you will hear it. I'm going to redo the men's channel, because my main men's channel was demonetized. But I'm going to keep, because I'm putting content on it. I'm going to keep putting content on that. I'm going to keep putting content on this. And Savage Finance is growing nicely. And then I'm going to create a how-to YouTube channel, which I'm still strategizing how I'm going to do that, because I will tell you, if you take your time to be strategic, to do your research and know your niche, I mean, you could I'm going to show y'all something in a minute. Hold on a second. Let me come out of here, because I want to show y'all something crazy. All right. I'm going to show you guys the power of YouTube. This guy right here started a YouTube channel last year. He just paid off his parents' house. For about 6 months, he didn't make any money. But the last 6 months of the year, he made over $200,000. Plus, I'm about to show y'all something else. He's only been doing YouTube 1 year. He gets almost $15,000 a month from Patreon. That's $185,000 a year, because these are people who are supporting his YouTube channel. 1 year. So this year he's probably going to do $500,000. Second year of YouTube, with everything between his YouTube earnings and between this right here. 1 year. Most people in life never make $200,000 ever. Collectively, many people are at an income level where it literally takes them 6 to 8 years to make $200,000. So the YouTube course is going to be fire. I'm going to make sure you guys know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you the things to do, the things not to do, because I love YouTube. YouTube has literally changed my life. It's changed everything. So with that, I will see you guys later.